All right. It's January 2nd, 2021. Happy New Year. And President Trump's path to victory. He still has multiple paths to victory. And for anybody out there that thinks it's over, you've been brainwashed or you've given into the propaganda of the mainstream media, which probably to some extent has always been there. But throughout this pandemic, and especially throughout this pandemic and throughout the presidency of Donald Trump, it has become exposed that mainstream media and big tech are liars. They censor, and it's concerning where this is headed. For the people that do believe that Joe Biden won, and they have given in to the media's propaganda, I made a video, because I live in Pennsylvania. I made a video about all the election irregularities that went on in Pennsylvania. And when you see these things, you have to ask yourself, is that fraud? I believe with the amount, it's definitely fraud. And it's not just Pennsylvania. There's plenty of other states that it has gone on in. All the states that are up for debate: Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, Wisconsin. And for the mainstream media to just put up an iron curtain or just slam the gavel. Nope, no evidence of voter fraud. It's very dishonest. And if you disagree with me, how about you go do some of your own research instead of having mainstream media such as MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News just inject thoughts into your head. Or because Twitter or Facebook puts a thing there, because Twitter and Facebook are God. Facebook is on the record influencing elections in other countries. They admit to doing it in other countries. They've done it here. Why is the mainstream narrative to hate Donald Trump? Why do they lie about him? There's something going on. I just want everybody to think for themselves, or even just fact check for themselves, rather than allowing mainstream media to inject thoughts into their brains. A couple things to think about before getting into the paths to victory. A couple things to think about. Trump won 8, and this has nothing to do. These are just statistics. This has nothing to do with all the video evidence, all the evidence in the states of voter fraud. These are just some statistics to think about. Trump won 18 of 19 bellwether counties, which have been perfect at predicting the winner of the election since 1980. Since 1896, Ohio has predicted the winner in every single election all but 2 times. Since 1896, the winner of Iowa, Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida, if you won all of those, the candidate that won those won 100% of the time. If you just won Florida and North Carolina since 1932, you'd be the winner of 16. You're the winner 16 of 17 times. And then in my state, Pennsylvania, Luzerne County has predicted Pennsylvania correct. Whichever way Luzerne County went, the entire state went. And that's dating back to 1936. All right, so what are Trump's paths to victory? Kind of see it as there's 3 different ways. So there's 3 different ways. The state legislatures, the Supreme Court, and a vote through Congress. All right, so number one, the state legislators. It's it's the constitutional duty of the state legislators to send the correct electors. So if they believe that there was fraud in their state, they can send different electors. They can also decertify electors. So that's one route. State legislators. Say maybe in Pennsylvania, the state legislators say, no, we're not going to certify these Democrat electors. We're sending Republican electors because there's XYZ of what happened. There's these voter irregularities, or these voter fraud, or this election fraud. It's one way. The Supreme Courts. Right now, I know that the Supreme Court refuses to look at anything, but maybe that will change. There's definitely a possibility that could change. And as of right now, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, and I believe Georgia all have cases for the Supreme Court. Now, if these electors are contested, it goes to a vote. And it goes to a vote through Congress. Each state gets one vote. Right now, there are more Republican states. So that's another way that it could go down. So let's see what happens. Pretty excited. I think a lot's going to happen here in the next few weeks. There's the March, January 6th. And I was thinking maybe this is all how it is supposed to happen. Maybe this is the shock or the wake-up call that people need. Because it's hard to convince people. It's easier to convince a person to believe a lie than to convince them that they've been lied to. And maybe this is the shock that's needed, the jolt to wake everybody up and say, maybe I should look at things, do a little bit of my own research, look at things a little bit for myself, think for myself a little bit. Stop letting the news think for you. Stop letting Facebook think for you. Get off of autopilot, stop being a walking zombie, and do a little bit of critical thinking. All right, thanks.